Welcome to the Sunday Roast, the show that overreacts to the weekend's footy, the show that roasts the losers and celebrates the winners, the show that gives you all the best odds of the weekend, the show that aren't going to let you forget that Carlton have lost 3 of their last 4, the show that watched the Swans little boy the Giants, the show that could not pass up to get Freo at $1.50, the show that adds gravy to their parma, the show that can't decide if they like steamed dimmies or fried dimmies more and think they're the perfect 50-50 split. It's the Sunday Roast. Joining me as always, Darcy Ballard. Dope, how are you, brother?
Jev, I'm good. It is good to be back on the airwaves on a Sunday. Did mention went to the footy on Friday night, had a cracking night at the footy, apart from Carlton losing. And then apart from that, I've been doing not much this weekend, watching a fair bit of footy. Can't wait to crack into it. How are you? Obviously really good, the fact that the Swans are just sitting pretty on top, Jev. Taking the piss at the moment with some pretty big guys to come back in as well.
Yeah, I'm up and about. They were very, very impressive yesterday, the Swans. I can't wait to get to that game. I've got a little bit to say, but you said you were sitting level 3 Friday night. Oh, we'll get to that game. When we get there, we'll get there. Let's go to the first game of the weekend, the showdown. The Adelaide Crows won by 30 points. They did it quite comfortably. Dope.
Yeah, so the Adelaide supporters, Jeff, this is a big deal in Adelaide. Obviously, you got the 2 Adelaide sides. The Adelaide supporters call it the showdown. The Port Adelaide supporters call it the letdown, because the last 3 times they have had their pants pulled down, fist in their asshole, and just been used like a puppet. That's pretty much what happened. So at the start of the game, you had to look at Port Adelaide. They were just they were getting so many shots on goal, but couldn't convert. And you had some guys like Charlie Dixon that were trying to take the game over. Apparently, he's unbelievable off a rest. So he did have the week off the other week. Came back last week, looked really good. But he must need another rest again, Jev. I think he must be 1 in, 1 out, because he was so bad on the weekend. There is so many holes in this side. We were talking about that. We think that their talent, their list is pretty good. But after 1 or 2 injuries, geez, they look very thin very quickly. I thought Butters really tried it hard. I think I watched their games a little bit closer because I'm financially invested in Zach Butters. I thought he was really good throughout the game. His only thing is he does butcher the ball a little bit. I was watching him just kick to packs. Like, he tries to make everything work as best as he can, tries to take bounces. I think he's taken the most amount of bounces in the league so far this year, so he likes to take off. But some of his disposal isn't quite there. And then Adelaide, you knew the Port was still, because they were kept piling on the shots, and you knew that they were eventually going to continue to try and break the game open. But Adelaide just held on to it, slowed them down, and then eventually just ran away with it at the end. And Port are absolutely in shambles at this point, Jev.
Oh, absolutely. So there's a couple of things we know about Port Adelaide. We know they tried to fix their defense, but it's still a bit iffy. Geez, I don't trust Radaglia, Alir, and Zirk Thatcher in the same team at the moment. No. Yeah, they're going to work through it, but no Alir this week. Radaglia wasn't great. Anyway, we know they've got an A-grade midfield, and we know they've got a dangerous forward line when it's firing. But if they want to be a premiership team or even a prelim final team, they have to kick more than 5 goals, Das. 5 goals in a game of footy for Port Adelaide with all that talent forward of the footy. I was just like, this is fucking piss week. I know they've kicked 18 points, but I'm looking at their goal kickers. They've got Horn Francis kicked 2, who's a midfielder. Willie Rioli's kicked 1. Dixon kicked 1 and had an absolute shocker.
Meh.
He had just had a mare. Everything he touched was average. And Todd Marshall kicked 1. Where's Georgiadis? Where's Burn Jones? Anyway, they were just so average and ordinary. And now that Rosie's out, if it's not Butters, you're sort of like, oh. And we've always thought this, as soon as you can beat Port Adelaide around the footy, and if you can be just as good in clearances as they are, you love playing against that defense, and you start putting Kane Farrell and Dan Houston under the pump and making them defend. They're not that great at defenders, and if you've got Alir and Radaglia and Zirk Thatcher one-on-one, they're not that dangerous. So I wrote Port Adelaide off last week from winning the premiership. Once they lost to Collingwood on the G, because I just do not trust them to go to the MCG on a prelim final and win the game. So I'm telling you, they're not winning the premiership. But can they win a prelim final or make the prelim final or win a big final? Yeah, it depends what week they're playing. Usually it's a shit team rocks up, they give them an ass kick and everyone goes, how good are Port Adelaide? But, geez, the Crows aren't going that well and they were horrible. But, yeah, we've got to give some love to the Crows that you can finally see what they're trying to do and what they trained in preseason. So their defense was great. Who was it? Max Michaelaney and
Worrell. But I also want to touch on, Jev, the Wombat that we hit on the way to Adelaide. Mark Keane took the piss, whatever he wanted. So he grabbed Dixon if he wanted with one arm. He had Todd Marshall with the other arm, who we're going to get into in a minute, and he just made them look silly. He just took whatever he wanted. 17 disposals from your key back is unbelievable.
Yeah.
17 disposals. Like, he's an Irishman. He doesn't know what he's doing out there. He just sits there, sees ball, get ball, beat player. That's all he does. And he does it fucking well.
Yeah, so he had a great game. So, yeah, their defense held up. It's young. It might be inexperienced. They're starting to play together. And then they've got that star-studded forward line, firepower forward line. And then their midfield, wherever you rank it in the comp, if they're playing well and they're playing on their terms, it's pretty good. They get it down to Tex. They get it in Tex's hand. They get it in Rankin's hand. It was a perfect Adelaide game, and they've done that 3 times in a row to Port Power. As you said, that's 3 showdowns in a row. Isaac Rankins rocked up to Adelaide and just thought, how easy is this to run Adelaide? Like, I don't look like losing. So, yeah, they were just too good for him. I can't be the only one that thinks this does. Jake Saligo, to me, looks exactly like Zach Butters the way he plays.
Yeah, they're very similar.
I just see it's like a mirror. I just see the way he picks up the ball and moves around and his toughness and stuff. I just see it's like he trains with Zach Butters in the offseason. I'm saying I just see Zach Butters in Jake Saligo. I don't know if they talk about that in Adelaide. I'm the first to think that, but just his size as well, not huge but tough. I just see Zach Butters.
He played incredibly well the other night. The medal could have gone to a couple of blokes, but it usually goes to the winning team. So I'm glad that he won it. Now, Jev, before we get into some odds for this game, we've been chatting, and this has to come to everyone else's attention because we want their input. We just want to make a list of myths. And Todd Marshall is on that list. If you're paying someone $800,000 to play from behind and pop up once every 5 weeks against North Melbourne or West Coast at home to kick 5 or 6, what is Todd Marshall, Jev? He's an absolute myth. Has he popped up in a big game in the last 10? Not at all. So, Jev, we've got a myth list at the moment. You're going to read it out, and we want to know from the fans listening, who else should be on this list and why? We want to know why in the comments. You can't just say someone. We want to know, what has this player done to you or you've seen to need them to be on this myth list? Jev, kick us off.
So these are players we just think are a myth. And, there's a couple we've said previously, but yeah, these are players we think is a myth. So number 1 is Matthias Mithapu. Matthias Philippou is a fucking myth. And I know I'm right on this one. Todd Marshall, myth. Jason Horne-Francis, he cost our man the Shark, Matt Dickey, a multi, so he's put him on the myth list. You and me don't necessarily, I think he's a pretty good player, but he cost Dickey a multi, I reckon, so he's on the myth list. Lockie Schultz, myth.
Shooter.
Will Hoskin-Elliott, myth. Darcy Fogarty,
myth.
The King sisters, Max and Ben King, the
myths.
Both of them are fucking myths, especially Max King. He's a fucking myth.
He's a myth.
Lewis Young,
he's a myth. I don't even think he's a myth.
No, I don't think because he's never that good. As I've said, he owes Jacob Wiedering some fucking money or whatever. He should do Jacob Wiedering's washing and dishes. And one more I added last night, Xavier Dersma. He's a fucking myth.
He's a myth.
He's a myth. That is our myth list. Oh, we don't want to rip him too bad. You got some odds, Das? I'll give you some.
I thought you had the odds to this one, Jev.
I thought you screenshotted this one.
Did I? This is good.
We don't have to. What would have been some good
odds? No. I do have them, actually. Sorry. So give me some odds. What do we want?
Rankin kick 3.
Rankin
kick 2.
Well, I actually had Rankin for 3, Jev. That was at 360.
That's nice. Jason Horne-Francis for 2.
Jason Horne-Francis for 2 was 430, which is nice.
And then Butters 30, Saligo 25, Mitch Hinge 25.
Yeah, so Mitch Hinge 25 was 380. Saligo was 220 for 25. Zach Butters was 250 for 30. Zach Butters is having a good year, Jev. And I don't know, you know that I have a thing about people running. If you're a good runner and you can hold on to the footy, you get noticed a lot more rather than just the quick handball out of the pack, racking up 30 disposals. And there's something about, I think Butters is owning the league at the moment in bounces. I think he's at 27 for the year. I just feel there's something about that, especially late in the games. He had a couple of really nice clearances where he runs out and he tries to break the game open. So whether they're not looking at where the ball's going so much, but what he's doing with it, whether that looks good, I don't know. So I doubled down again the other day, Jev. He's still at $21. So I put it on 3 times, so $10 a piece. Now, that's the thing, because he's still so far out for the Brownlow. If he ends up polling these early games and has a good back end of the year, they're like, oh, fuck, he's got it. And he's going to come in very short, very quickly. And then that's the time to take your cash outs and let a couple ride. So that's how it works. That's how our formula works.
No, I'm completely with you. And we know the history of the Brownlow medal. He had his breakout poll vote-getting season last year where, like, he started being noticed by the umpires. He got hot. He had that breakout. And so now this year, it's like if it's a 50-50, like, oh, was it him or was it Horn Francis? I think he's always going to get the nudge of the votes. So, like, I think he might get one when they lost on the weekend. I think every time they've won or nearly every time they've played, I notice him, maybe because we're financially invested, but he's always thereabouts to get 1 or 2. So, yeah.
Port Adelaide's a tough one. I'll put this on thinking Horn Francis will play more forward because last year he polled so well.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if he gets a vote as well in this game. Like, he just gets votes. He stands out.
Well, let's get to the next game. Friday night footy in front of 90,000 at the MCG. The Collingwood Magpies beat the Blues by 6 points. Bruzzy, Braden Maynard kicked the first. I don't have the odds right now, but let me hand this one to you, Dask. Go for it.
Yeah, Jeff, I was there with a few mates. So this took us 6 years to get this game together. Every time, usually someone's away or someone's sick. It was a packed crowd, and there is nothing better than going to these big games in front of 88, 90,000 every time. And I'm so glad that I'm either a Carlton or Collingwood or a big team supporter. Apart from Melbourne and Geelong, that only got 55,000 on a Saturday night, Jev, which is absolutely weak as water. We had played Angels before the game, Jev. Robbie Williams, it was really nice. But let's get into the game. Mind if we just talk about the Blues first, and then we can just have another segment for Nick Dacos, Jev, if you don't mind, because I feel he just needs his own at the end. So Harry started really well, kicked 3 in the first. We were up 41-21 at one stage, and I thought, all right, hopefully this is the sort of game we get to see. We can pile it on, because I thought at the start of the week, if we play how I know that we can for the whole time, we should win this game. And then the Pies pretty much scored 31 unanswered points. They were up by about 2 goals at halftime. We were back up by 5 points at three-quarter time. And we'll see with the mate. I was having so much fun. I'm just like, all we want is a good game and hope your team wins. The last 2 minutes, Jev, I asked you to timestamp this. You think Harry Mackay has a little bit of autism every single weekend. So we'll get into that in a minute. And at the end, we were almost all hoping for the draw. Like, this will be pretty funny. Big stoppage at the end. Obviously, Dacos kicks that goal, and it was just heartbreaking. He came out so fast, and you just knew that he was going to flush it. That goal to me, Jev, was up there with as much like star power and just wow factor. I'm not sure if I'm sure people would have seen it, but they might not remember off the top of their head. Chris Judd in front of me had Paul Chapman on his tail, sprinting a million miles an hour, just picked it up and put it on his left, like from the other side on his left foot goal. And you were just like, wow, that's what that was. It's just like got shot out of a fucking cannon. But I think at the start of the year, we were talking about how good our depth is and how we're able to use our system. But, Jev, I believe on the weekend was the first real time that our bottom 5 to 6 players are absolutely killing us. So, as well as effort and lack of game awareness, which we saw with Mackay, and just being able to put the score on the scoreboard and finishing off the games, because obviously we're not getting Doherty back, but Orazio Fantasia, 5 touches and 1 behind. That's a straight swap for Jack Martin when he comes back in. Durden, only the 7 touches. He's had a few good chances at it. As soon as Jesse Motlop's back in the side, or is fit to go. He's out. Lewis Young's out for McGovern. Chincotta's out for Sard. Cowan's out for Marchbank. And I know Cunningham came back in the side without really doing too much. But as soon as Lockie Fogarty's ready to go, he comes straight back in. So obviously it's only a third down in the season, but those other 5-6 players in that side, I think we're a much better team. I know a lot of players have injuries, but it's just the ends of the game where I thought that we were doing so well. Yes, we only just lost to Geelong by 2 kicks. We only just lost to Adelaide and we just lost to the Pies, but we also just beat the Lions who aren't going well. We only just beat the Tigers and we only just beat Freo, which we probably shouldn't. So I actually don't know how we're going at the moment. Like we've been on some end of some lucky wins and then some not stiff losses because we definitely lost, but we did mention this the other week, Jeff. I actually don't know what we are at this point in the season, but I think once we get a few more players in, I'd like to see a few more magnets move, but Voss is obviously very unhappy where he thinks that we're at the moment. And I just don't know what we're at, personally.
Yeah. So you were there Friday night, massive crowd. Did it feel like a final? Was it just big feeling, big game, big final? Did it feel like a final to you?
I think it does. Like all those games always do. I think the first, I think Collingwood had enough of their premiership players in that side for it to feel like a final. Like only DeGoey and Mitchell out. But yeah, it definitely did at the start, and you could see at the start if it is a big final, the big players were getting their hands on it early. It was just a fun fucking game. Like I'm usually way more pissed off, I think, with outcomes of games, but I think just because we were with good company and all the crowd around was just like, fuck, how good's having a great game of footy? I don't think it felt like a shit sloppy game. Like it was good fun.
Yeah, so, well, if it did feel like a final, you're out straight sets. Because you said Geelong felt like a final last week and you got done. Collingwood felt like a final. I thought Carlton was certainties and you got done. Top 4, straight sets, you're not that good. I knew it before the season, you're not that good. You've been kissed on the dick about 4 times this year and now it's finally coming home to roost. I don't know who you got next week, but I'm hoping you lose again.
Yeah, we've got Melbourne and then we've got Sydney.
Perfect. Melbourne on the G, obviously. Thursday night footy. They've just beat the Cats. So that'll be a great game. You have to win that game. You cannot rock up and lose that game of football.
No.
You can't. You have to win. I think I saw Lordo called out Charlie Curnow on the Sunday footy show.
What did he say?
He said his body language has been shit. He's been like... his effort and body language haven't been that good. So I absolutely love him and I think he's built in a lab, but I wonder if he could have done a bit more on Friday night. I liked how Collingwood usually do 0 tagging. They just go our system, our players versus yours. And every stoppage they put Jack Crisp, Scott Pendlebury standing on Pat Cripps. And I thought they beat him. He was really good, but I think late he was a bit worn out. He didn't have a touch in the last 10 minutes of the last quarter. I think they got him a bit. So that's definitely something to look for where it's not necessarily a tag, but just tire him out every time he, every stoppage, bump him, lean on him, put a body on him and change the bloke that does it. And eventually he's a big boy. He's a superstar, but he wears out. And then now let's talk about Nick Dacos. Oh, Nick Dacos. The thing that pumped me up that much about this is because the NBA playoffs are in at the moment and we love our American media. We love the sport and then we love the media. And you think like if Anthony Edwards hits a big shot or when Jamal Murray hit that game winner against the Lakers and they do it in the playoffs, it's just like the next day everyone opens every single show and everyone wants to talk about it. And it's like, where does this ranking game winners of playoffs and this? And then you just think like Nick Dacos is having an okay season. Pies fans saying he's been amazing. I think he's been okay. Then he has that sort of game. He kicks a goal. He's had a big night. And then he just does that Friday night footy, biggest rivalry in footy, 90,000 people there, and you kick a goal like that. It's just like, holy fuck, this kid is here. Especially he started the stoppage head-to-head with Sam Walsh. It went one way, it burnt the other. Walsh got left there and he went, and it's just like, it was just a fucking fantastic finish.
It was unbelievable.
In front of the crowd. And you're like, it just had to be him. It's like his LeBron moment. It's his Kobe moment. It's all of this. It's like, just because I'm thinking of NBA so much and watching so much NBA, I'm like, it is just when the superstars do something like that and they win the game off their own boot in the end, it just it adds to the aura and the legend of this kid, Nick Dacos. So
I just think
that was fucking awesome.
I think it's so much more unbelievable though, in like the fact that it's such a big game and it's not basketball. It's not a set play. It's not 5-on-5 where you know the ball's coming to them. Everyone's around the stoppage and you're just like, no fucking way. Of course. And you just see him run out with it because he was cramping in the last quarter. He come off with like 10 minutes to go. You're like, fuck, he can't run out the game. He's cooked.
It's the first time I've ever seen him cramp.
And just fucking finished. Like just absolutely buried it, put it through. The Pie season's definitely back on track. As I said, the Blues got 2 massive tests the next 2 weeks, and if we lose them, it's going to be a lot of noise early. But just want to have a little quick market mover, Jeff. Dacos went from $15 for the Brownlow into $10, so he came in for $5. He's back out to 12 at the moment, but this is the best time to buy you guys on the outside. We'll get into Heaney in a minute, Jeff, but the fact that he's into $4 and he's done that over in a third of the season, someone else can do another third of the season. Yep. He might get injured. Look at some guys that you absolutely love, and now's the time to buy them. Like $15 we mentioned the other night, like it's a pretty good fucking price.
Yeah.
Zach Merritt the other night, which we'll get into as well, he was still out around $18. He's having a hell of a season. But yeah, just the definite inconsistency where the week before we beat Geelong 64 inside 50s to about 44. And on the weekend, the Pies had 64 inside 50s. We only had the 38.
Yeah.
So we got smashed on that front of the ground. And it was just, it was just a bizarre game. It was great towards the end, but it's all in the finer details. Like we could have lost a couple games early. We could have won these ones. We could have been 7-1, 6-2, but we're not. So you just hope for your team that it's learnings that you can get on tape. It's like, all right, this is what we fucking don't want coming towards the back end of the year. And then you get a bit of a launch pad going through. But very fun game, Jev. Do you have any odds on this one?
Yeah, you give me some stats. I'll give you some odds.
Yeah, we'll go goals first. Mackay for 4.
Mackay 4. You got a nice $5.80 here.
He's paying heaps for goals. He's paying heaps.
And he looks like kicking him. $2.85 for 3. That is cash. He looks like he's so big and he marks it like at the highest peak. He looks like he's going to kick goals every week. Let's go up that $2.80 for 3 next week against the D's. What else we got?
Matt Owies for 3.
Matt Owies for 3. We got a nice $11.50 Towies.
De Koning for 2.
Big TDK, $2.40.
Dacos for 2. What was he paying? Like
the kid. The fucking kid. We got $6.25 for 2.
That's great. I want to know Harvey Harrison kicked 1 and also Lockie Sullivan kicked 1.
Lockie Sullivan. Harvey Harrison was $1.84. Yeah, Lockie Sullivan, you got $3.10 for 1. He should have kicked a second at 14-1, but he didn't. He had his chance. $3.10 for Lockie Sullivan. That is nice. And touches?
Yeah, touches. Sam Walsh, I think he's still pretty short for 30. But also Akers and Newman for 30.
Newman got $7 for 30, and same with Akers. You got $7 for Blake Akers. He was good, Blake Akers. He was really good.
Can I mention, sitting up above, he is, whether he has other wingmen that kick goals maybe the other way every now and then, I've never seen someone cover the ground and just try and get to as many contests. I was telling Morgs the other night, I'm going to start calling him the contest. He gets to as many as he can. Like, that's a stat line for him, how many contests he can get to and try and impact, whether he does or not. Some other ones, George Holford touches. No, it was Dacos 30, then Lipinski 24, Chris 23. There wasn't too much.
Yeah.
It was Nick Dacos and the rest of the team jump on board. But get on him now for the Brownlow if you like it. If that's anything to go off, he just loves the big time. He absolutely loves the big time.
They look like they're back. They got their confidence back. They got their swagger back. They like the big crowd, the big energy. So yeah, I think we wrote them off on this show saying they're not going to win the flag, but their season is getting rolling. Righto, next game. A team that doesn't rely on getting kissed on the dick or any fancy hooey dust to beat a team. A team that just rocked up in the pouring rain and bullied the other side. Kicked the living piss out of them, like the longest yard. We have a couple of trial games, kicked the piss out of them. The Sydney Swans little boyed the Giants by 29 points. This game wasn't close, Das. It was not close. We pumped them. And I've got some ears on the ground at the MCG, and yes, they are Swans and Nuffy supporters, so it's probably as much crap as I'm going to talk. They reckon the Swans didn't even have to crack into 5th and 6th gear. Didn't get out of 4th gear. They did this quite comfortably. Quite comfortably. So, yeah, I don't know who kicked the first. I think it was Aaron Cadman. He kicked a really nice goal to kick the first, actually. No, James Rowbottom, then Aaron Cadman. Isaac Henny kicked the first 2 points of the game.
Yeah.
Imagine he started the game with 2 snags. It could have been Brownlow medal over. But just watching this game, so the first quarter was just pretty even. What was the score at quarter time? The Giants were up 5-3 to 2-6, but it was a good, pretty even quarter. Then it started raining. Then we kicked 4 goals in the second quarter to their none. And then we kicked 4 goals to their 3. And then we kicked 4 goals to their 2. We just, once it started raining, I watched 2 quarters of this just watching, no commentary, and it was just bodies clashing. To me, I think the Swans do not shirk contests. Either did the Giants, and it was just slapping of bodies, bang, bang, and they were just hard in the wet. Every bloke was tough. Every bloke put their head over the ball, and it was just a fucking good, solid game of footy. But the Swans' firepower and the good players we've got all over the field. Nick Blakey has his worst game of the season. We lose Tom McCartan in the first quarter. There's your All-Australian halfback, and I saw an All-Australian team after 7 rounds, and Tom McCartan was in it, and we still just held up, kicked more goals, more class. We just beat him. We kept Toby Green to 0 goals. He started punching blokes in the guts again, so I can tell you we got him frustrated. Brodie Grundy was great. Our whole midfield just pants their midfield. I know Tom Green went down. That doesn't look like a good injury at all, and I'm fucking worried about him. But, yeah, we were just too good. We were tougher, we were better midfield, and we were better forward. So, yeah.
Pretty much summed it up. Just want to mention, it's amazing when you can get someone in the building to just be that little bit of cream on top. And the fact that you guys just got the opportunity to pluck Grundy, I think is incredible. Like the fact that he went up against Briggs for most of the day and in the end, definitely got the better of him. Brodie Grundy's got a tank, and the fact that you've always had those midfield pieces and they've probably just been relying a little bit more on getting a really good ruckman just to give him a little bit more service and get to some more contests around. And your midfield, you look at the disposals pretty much ranked. It's Goulden 1, 29-1. Warner second, 28, 1 goal 2. Heaney third, 26, 1 goal 2. So you've got all those 3 getting 21-1 every week. It's like, all right, who do you go to? That's the real question. When you continue to win, are you able to get Rampy back into the side this week, which was great. You're just looking like a team that is just continually winning, but sharpening the axe, sharpening the sword, and just trying a few different things. You'll be able to run a few more senior guys through towards the back end of the year. Is Wicks going to continue to play? Is McInerney going to continue to play? Are other guys going to come in? What's his name that you guys dropped, the half-backer? You love him.
Braden Campbell.
Yeah, Braden Campbell. Come back in. You're going to win enough games at this stage, and it's looking like it's a top 4 lock. And then it's like, all right, let's prime ourselves for what matchup are we going to get week 1? That's who's playing. Matchup week 2. And if you're not in, you're not in. But if you get called up, you get called up. It's not necessarily the best player. It's who's going to do the best job for us. And you're in a fucking great position. And now there's some question marks on the Giants, Jev. It's a cruel game.
It's a cruel game.
The start of the year, we look at Tom Green. You absolutely love him. He's built to win a Brownlow the way that they're playing. A lot of guys can't travel on the road, but that big warhorse can just get to as many contests and just do what he does. Looks like he's done a bad ankle, Jev, and you currently can't get him in any market for the Brownlow. So they're waiting to hear what's going on with him because I wanted to see whether he's already slid, but no market for him. They're waiting to hear. Even a 2-3 weeker puts him back behind the 8 ball a little bit. So hopefully he's all right because we love to watch him, but it just means guys like Finn Callahan's going to have to step up. Yep. And
we do love Finn.
When you look at their draw now, yes, they have a couple of losses, but they don't get the luxury of playing at home all the time. They're on the road again and again and again. So it's going to be interesting to see. And Toby Green's definitely having a down season, as you did mention. He got angry against the Blues and he got angry against you guys. So whether he's happy to keep being team, or whether he's going to start getting a little
When's it going to be like, nah, I've had enough. And then it was a bit of a battle of the old recycling bin this game. The Giants have plucked Jesse Hogan out of the recycling bin. They've got him on the second-hand store. Then we've got Brodie Grundy out of the recycling bin. And I was just watching, I'm like, last year, this was Tom Hickey versus Kieran Briggs. and now it's Brodie Grundy versus Kieran Briggs. And I can just see with my eyes how much different it is, how much better we are. And like, it's just two different teams. And it's like, nah, that's what an A-grade premiership ruckman looks like. The way he just moves, covers the ground. Then Chad Warner in the wet, or he's just his sidestep. I don't know if you've, like, when he gets the ball, he just looks at the bloke in front of him and just runs around him. He's so confident in his sidestep. Isaac Heaney again, 1 goal, 26 touches, came in even shorter for the Brownlow. Errol, his second Kevin Sheedy medal in 2 games. He won the medal at the end of last year. Then he's won the first medal this year. 29 touches and a goal. Like, he's just... I'm telling you, his season is that underrated. Go search Errol Goulden's stats on Google and look at his whole season numbers. He's just easing into his season so well. And then this is how well the Swans are going, Das. So Luke Parker breaks his arm in the preseason. That doesn't mean he was getting off legs or doing off legs conditioning. So it's sort of like, we'll ease him back in. He played VFL last week against the Box Hill Hawks, had 32 touches, and everyone's like, perfect, bring him back in. They find out it's pouring rain, and then all Swan supporters, my men at the True Bloods podcast, we're all saying, righto, we're going to drop Amadi and bring Parker back in because we don't need to carry the tools in the wet. Get Parker back in. The Swans just stick with Amadi in the side. Parker just doesn't get a look in. He has 29 touches in the twos yesterday, just played a full 4 quarters of twos again. And Amadi does the job on Sam Taylor and beat him. Well, in the first half, he definitely beat him. He was doing it. He was just making sure he knew where Sam Taylor was. He was hitting up. He missed a couple of shots at goal. He was really good. So it's a team of some superstars, but a lot of guys being role players. Like Dos McLean is just a role player for us. Sam Wicks is just a half forward, hardworking role player. James Jordan is like your Matt Cottrell. The True Bloods boys call him the yo-yo. He just goes up and back and plays a role and covers Isaac Heaney's man and covers Errol Goulden's man as they put their eyes going forward. So we are on fire. And tell you what I'm going to be filthy about. Neither David King or Jared Wheatley had the Swans in the seedings on the Monday means test. And Kingy goes, I'm going to be slow to the party on the Swans. And now we just little Boyd, his beloved GWS Giants. If we are not top 3 of the seedings tomorrow, I'm going to crack the shit stars because we are clearly a top 3 team in the comp. In no matter what metric you look at, you can like the Cats more than you like the Swans. You can like the Giants, even though we just touched them up. You can like it. You can spin it however you want, but we are a top 3 team in the comp. We're top of the ladder with a percentage of 150 or something.
145 or something.
Like, the Cats lose their first game and we're Cats are second on the ladder with 129%. We're 147. That's 18.5% above the Cats. So like we're flying. And I know people crack it when I go 2-0 on the Swans because if it crashes and burns on me, it is what it is. The 2 best things of this podcast are when the Blues win and the Swans lose because people come for me. But I don't get how I can't be excited. When I watch us, we're tougher than GWS. Our mids are better than GWS. And we beat them quite comfortably in the wet. And then you look at Heaney, Warner, Goulden stat lines at the end of the game and you're like, they were just too good for them. We were just too good. Inside, outside, however you want it. Did you want it tough? We out tough. Did you want it on the outside? We ball movement, yeah. Did you want us to stop your best player? Toby Green, 0. Sam Taylor beaten by Joel Amadi. Jesse Hogan played all right. He kicked 2 or 3. So however you want it, we beat him. So, yeah.
If there's only thing that I can say to you about Jared's seedings and Kingies, you don't want to be in there. It's a curse. Carlton were in there for a fair bit last year and we went to soup. You do not want to get in there. Every time Jared has Carlton won, we lose. No, it's a curse. Go under the radar. That's all I can say. But you want to stick under. But as you did mention, Jev, we know we love the Brownlow. We love the odds. We love the future. I think futures bets, I've decided, it's when the close out on the line day. I think futures bets are the best things in sport to bet on.
Yep.
Like you pick your things at the start of the year and you just ride them. You're invested every single week and you just hope they get there. But if Goulden's getting votes, Jeff, he's at 21-1.
Yeah.
21-1 and you can get an each way bet as well. Wow. Each way is currently $6.
The only problem is Isaac Heaney's gone from 450 to 4s. Are we having 2 top 3s in the Brownlow medal? It's going to be... We're playing well enough.
Yeah, but it's only... Remember, we never want an injury. but it's a third of the season in.
Yeah.
If Goulden's thereabouts and shoots up, he's at 21-1 because he's just, if you're winning, you're getting votes. And he's definitely getting votes in some of these other games. So,
yeah.
And if you're projecting you're going to win more, 21 and $6 to place is fantastic.
I think it's definitely a buy now. Byron Errol, he's on fire, the kid. And then, as we said, so when we did the stock market Tuesday night, Errol was 26-1. He's gone into 21. So that one best on ground, $5 worth of thing. So get on the 21 now. And then Isaac went from $4.50 favourite to now $4 favourite, outright favourite. Pat Cripps is outright second at 8-1. So this is that Dacos, half the field of everyone, but we've played 8 games of footy. So,
and this is when we say, do not buy Heaney anymore. Do not. Like the each way is $1.75. That is too short.
No,
like
too short.
If you miss the boat, it was $2.51 at the start of the season. Bad luck. You missed out. Now you're playing. Now you're playing for everything else. You're praying for a miracle and some good form and some good luxuries. But good game, Jev. Let's get on to the next one.
Yeah, quick odds. Just real. I've got the odds here. Give me. So James Rowbottom was 41-1 for the first. Swans goal kickers.
Yeah, can we have Will Hayward for 4?
Yeah, 21-1 for Will Hayward for 7-1 for 3, and he was 81-1 for 5, and he probably should have kicked 5. He missed a sitter.
Wow. Cadman for 2. He's still all right.
Cadman for 2 should have been nice if I can find it here. 325 for 2. That's something I'm going to start looking at.
Jesse Hogan for 2. It was $1.86. Hey,
$1.63. He's a good player.
I had a quick one I wanted to mention to you. This is a nugget, Jev. You know what's something that we can actually predict?
Yeah.
If you look at the Coleman ladder tally, if you look at the top 5, yeah. So usually if you're winning the Coleman, you're kicking an average of 3.2 goals a game. That's what it's been over the last few years, yeah?
Yep.
2.5, 3. If we can predict the top 4 or 5, just put them in a multi for 2 goals every week. That's Hogan. That's Waterman. That's Curnow. That's Mackay. That's a good multi every week.
That's a good call.
But you know that if that's what they're going to be averaging every week, and then we take the top 3 or 4 for the Brownlow, whatever they're averaging, and just put them in together every week.
Yeah. I've got one more. When you watch Swans games, never really bet on anyone to kick 2 or 3 or more than 3. We've had Hayward, Rowbottom, Heaney, Warner, Amati, Jordan, McDonald, Papley, Goulden, and McLean all kick a goal in this game. So, I'm looking at the odds, and they were all you can get them all $1.88 Goulden, Sam Wicks $1.82, McLean $1.53, Warner $1.47, Hayward $1.35. I'm just looking at them all anytime goal. Rowbottom was 41-1 for the first and 6-1 for any time. But when you bet on the Swans, rather than going maybe Logan 3, Papley 2, because Papley's out of form a bit. Just go Heaney, Warner, Amati, McDonald, Papley, and fucking Goulden for 1, and McLean for 1 in your multi. You'll get the same odds if you're going to take Logan 3, Thingy 2, because now that it's no Buddy anymore, it's whoever's the best option in the forward line. Anyone besides the Swans goal. So, yeah, good game. Up the Bloods. Who we got next week? Who are we taking care of next week? Let me quickly get it up. We have Freo at Optus Stadium in 5 days. That'll actually be a good game. I think that's Friday night.
It is.
Fuck yeah. Friday night, the Swans. Oh, there's a double header Friday night.
Oh, wow.
Geelong and then the Swans. Crazy.
Nice.
Crazy. All right, next game, Das. Where are we at? What game was after this? Let's get through this game quick because, anyway, the Saints beat the Roos by 38 points. They were too good in the end. The Roos stink. We know this. But is there a bigger coward than Max King on the planet, Das? He's as weak as water. Talk to me about this game. I didn't see a heap. I was at the footy club. I was looking up at it. We were all just riding Max King to kick 2.
I didn't see a thing, Jev. But Mateus Mithapu was the lowest ranked player on the ground with 5 disposals and a point. Was he subbed off?
He's a dead set fucking myth.
He played 95 minutes, Jev.
He's a fucking myth.
95 minutes. Tristan Jerry. I saw he took his first bounce on the weekend. 19 disposals. He looked good. But this is a typical win, is it not, Jev, for the Saints? They just had to come out, take care of business. There was a photo at the end of the game. It's like Alistair Clarkson after a 38-point loss looked disappointed, and there was Ross Lyon after a 38-point win looked disappointed. So I don't think it must have been too much in it. So let's pretty much get into the odds because there's not too much to dissect. This is if you were predicting a win, It's the Saints win, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you think everyone gets a bit of a lick of the ice cream. The one thing I do want to touch on, a couple of the boys from the show, they're really good mates with Darcy Wilson. And I didn't like the first couple of weeks. He's sort of ducking his head, like almost looked like he's throwing his head back. I watched that. I'm like, I'm not there for that. It was always like, if you get hit, just try and get back up as fast as you can.
Yeah.
But he had 21 disposals, 3 goals too, which is, he looks like he hits a scoreboard in the first couple of weeks. He pops up and tries to kick 1 or 2. And I think having Brad Hill over the other side of the wing is fantastic. So I'd love to know those odds. And also, I've been mentioning it. Oh, wow, McCurch had another 30. But I did mention it at the start of the season. Watch Zach Fisher when he can play a couple games on the half-back line because he'll get 30 disposals. He had 30, so I can't wait to hear what those odds were.
Yeah, so I just want Saints supporters to calm down a little bit. I got a text from a Saints supporter saying, Darcy Wilson, pyramid. Just settle down a little, hey, Darcy.
Of what, the rookies?
He's a good player. He's a very good player. Just win Rising Star would be great. He's a running machine. We do like him, like looking. So we could get 10-1 for Darcy Wilson to kick 3, 29-1 for him to kick 4. He's kicked 3 goals too. There's no real North goal kickers. Our man, Georgie Wardlaw, kicked 1, 255 for 1.
Zaha had 3 goals but 6 touches. Hey, why isn't he playing midfield?
Fucked if I know. Who are
no, but I know you've got these kids. Like, you got to have a little bit more. You just got to have a bit more cun about you, don't you?
Yeah. Jack Sinclair kicked 2 at 580 and Brad Hill kicked 2 at 490. Now let's get into disposals because they fucking had a lot of it. So the Saints.
Sinclair 33.
Sinclair 33. He, for 30, you would have got 2. Is that 95? 235. And then it's just 25s. Windhager for 25 should be pretty nice, shouldn't it? Yeah, 250 for 25, not bad. Wangani Malira at 180 for 25 and North touches.
Yeah, so Fisher for 30, McCurcher for 30.
Fisher for 30 was $7, which is delicious. And McCurcher for 30 for 2 weeks in a row, $5.20. Fuck, we have to buy on that. They've released the shackles on McCurcher. He's not playing that back pocket, sort of trying to play on Toby Green, playing a true back pocket. It's like, start getting the ball, kid. Like, start figuring out the speed of AFL. Get the ball in your hands. Apparently he's an elite kick. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. So Saints handle business.
Yeah, there's another note that we need to make before we get into the next game. So it's Coleman medalists, back them with goals.
Yeah.
Because they need to average it if they're going to win it. Also, if we're going to get on these young guys or a shit team, we're going to get on them at Marvel because you don't back them at Tassie. It's too windy.
Yeah.
When they've got the roof closed, they're going to lose. But teams are happy for them to possess the ball because they fuck it up eventually. So that's another thing that we're going to look at, Jev. Conditions in the weather.
I love this from you. Rocking up. 100K show on Tuesday when it comes out Thursday. You're going to have a multi with Waterman, Hogan, Kerno, Mackay. All these guys are kicked too. I can't wait to hear the odds on this on Tuesday night when we film the pod. Next
also,
game.
No lamb chops, no North.
No lamb chops, no North. Where is he? Has he been dropped, has he, or is he injured?
Nah, he's injured.
Fuck.
He's just icing his chops.
The D's hand the Cats their first loss of the season by 8 points. Jeremy Cameron missed 2 of the biggest sitters in the last quarter to cost the Cats this game. Talk to me about this game, Dobe.
At the start, can I mention, if you're a Melbourne supporter, you are weak as water because we had 80,000 for Carlton Cats. So that means the Cats are bringing their crowd. Well, it has to, doesn't it?
Yep.
Or maybe they're both just average fan bases because we're versing Melbourne on Thursday night. So if that's 80,000 again, which it won't be, I think it's up to, if you're a fan of your side, go to the footy. There is nothing better. Yes, you might win. Yes, you might lose. But you just got to get out there and just have a fucking go and support the boys. But at the start of the game, it looked like they were playing a curtain raiser, Jeff. There was no one in the crowd. 3 goals to 2 in the first quarter. Melbourne kicked 2 goals for. And then there were no goals in the second quarter.
There you go.
There wasn't a goal in the second quarter. Maxi Gawn really started to turn it on. Kicked one from 65. But as you mentioned, the last quarter, it really broke open. Melbourne kicked the 5 goals. Fritsch looked like one was going to go out. He's done it again, Jev. Yes, he scares you when you have him in the multi because he doesn't kick one, and then he'll kick 3 in a minute.
Yeah.
Almost like what Kerno does. Kick that nice little slider chiseler from the boundary, which is awesome.
That was a good finish.
As you did mention, Very unlike for Jeremy Cameron just to miss those ones. Just
they were
pulled one and then
sitting.
just one off the outside of the boot, just hit the post. And sometimes greatness hits the pause button, Jev. You can't be great all the time, but it was a long time coming, I think, for the Cats. Like, you can't stay on top all the time. To win 8 games in a row at AFL level is incredible with how good the talent of the league is at the moment. So, yeah, they could have easily won it. Tyson Stengel kicked some fucking unbelievable goals.
Yeah, that one was nice. One of them was really nice.
The finish on the left?
Yeah, that was nice.
That was awesome.
Cozzy Pickett. So, remember we were super critical on the Ds start of the year that they are not built to play from behind. They're not built to play from behind. I think May and Lever look too slow when they've got to come from 5 goals down. And I think, they've got their wallets. But when they are in front, especially for a team like Geelong, who sort of get you from their back half, so they'll lose a clearance, and it starts from their back half with ball movement. So then their half forwards and their quick forwards are getting up the ground and coming back. If you let Stephen May and Jake Lever do what they want when Melbourne have a lead, we know Melbourne, all they say is contest and defense. And if they're in front by 2 or 3 goals, and May and Lever have it on their own terms in the back line, it's all over. They're too good. They're so good at playing that game. So I think Chris Scott got that one wrong in the coach's box. Or maybe, then again, Jez Cameron misses 2 easy set shots, and they could have easily won the game as well, the Cats. Bad kicking's bad footy. He actually, I'm pretty sure he missed 3 gimmies, like absolute gimmies. Have you seen the ones he kicked out in the full?
Yeah.
They were bad. He
just went back, just hit the outside of his boot, and he's just like, fuck.
So, you can tell this is why Melbourne finished constantly top 4. They've got the great midfield. They're set up defensively. As long as if Fritsch and Cozzy Pickett come to the party and kick their goals and they nail their set shots and they get a 4-5 goal lead, they are bloody hard to chase down when May and Lever get it on their terms.
Can we put it? I think it's time that we can put a lot on Cozzy Pickett and his behaviour.
Yeah.
The amount of times that they've lost games because he wasn't fucking playing.
Fucking oath.
They're a different side when he's in there. But even
100%.
sometimes when he first comes back in, it takes him a game or 2. So just the inability of costing your team premiership points and within games that we'll get into for the next game as well, because there was a coach killer in the West Coast Essendon game, Jev, you just can't do it. But when they're absolutely firing, it's a pleasure to watch. And I think that there was a stat the other day I heard 80% of NFL games are 1-score games.
Yeah.
They finish in 1-score games. And the top sides of the AFL are getting very close to that.
Yeah.
And it's a game of inches. So a loss, because we get to play a lot more games in the NFL. We get to play 24 at the moment, or 23, whatever it is. It's a thing that you look at. And it's not so much like, fuck, if you lose, it's season over. But it just shows how close it is. And the margin for error is, it's not like if you're losing 3 games, you're a shit side. It's so close.
Yeah.
So you just got to adjust 1 or 2 things on tape and you might get a side. We got the Giants in the midfield. We fucking took him to the sword. And you better believe we did not get that from Geelong and we didn't get it from Collingwood.
Yeah.
So... And then that's the small increment. So it's exciting to watch. That's why even if we're losing, I'm like, well, hopefully we're going to get that right the next few weeks. You look at the next side, what they did really well, take that away from them, and you don't get that. It's a million different seasons within the season at the moment.
I remember Collingwood said after they were zipping 3 and they played back-to-back 6-day breaks, and then they had a 10-day break, I think, when they played Hawks at Gather Round on Sunday night. I remember they said, Steel Sidearm said, we just can't wait to train and get some training minutes together and go through match scenario together and, get it right again, because you just must have to train modern day of the 2-minute drill and the 5-minute drill and how to win close games. And Carlton are great at it both ways of the footy. They can usually hold on. They usually win the close games. They got it wrong the other night. But ever since Steel Sidebottom said that on SEN, Collingwood have just been a different side because they spent they probably got 4 or 5 main training sessions together, sharpening up, and they've been a different team since. So, it is a bloody game of inches, and the D's get it right, Geelong get it wrong. And it never phases the Cats when they lose ever. Oh, you just know. I know every AFL player says 1 week at a time. We only worry about next week. You just know the Cats don't do that. You know they've got their whole season written out when Hawkins is going to miss, when Danger's back, when Tom Stewart's going to have a rest, when Jeremy Cameron's going to have a spell. Like the Cats just do that. All right, next game, final game Saturday night. This was exciting. I was at my local football club, Parkdale Football Club, and Harvey Johnson, a kid that was drafted straight from the Parky Vultures, debuted in this game. He was the sub, but we were all there cheering him on, so pumped. It was so cool to be a part of it. You know, there was 50 to 100 people there yelling, cheering and all this stuff. But it was the Zach Merritt fucking show, and he was unbelievable. It was actually a pretty good game. The Dons win by 6 points. Did you watch much of this game, Dave?
Yeah, I watched most of it because been chatting to Harvey the last couple of weeks, and we're like, "Oh, you a chance? He's like, "Nah, we're talking about his waffle form." And we heard a whisper early in the week and messaged him like, "Are you in?" He's like, "Mate, we're in. But like you said, a bit annoying. I feel that if it's your first game, you'd love to play the full game. And geez, you can definitely tell when you're a young kid how fresh your legs are. He was running up and down the wing, just trying to get a kick, just trying to get involved. Thought he was going to kick a goal the first little bit, come off his knee.
He was going to kick the winner.
He got to some good spots, but West Coast, Jev, if they can stay healthy, I don't think they're going to be. Yo looks like he's potentially hurt a groin again. But if they're up and firing, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they always get a great crowd there. But it doesn't matter, like, if we said that at the start of the year, like, the Bombers should smash West Coast. Every team can play on their day, so all you need to do is get there, win your 4 points. You try and stack up towards finals. But yeah, Jev, it's Zach Merritt's season. Get on him now. 34 at the start of the year, into $10 before this game. He's into $8, the second favorite. Yep. He's when you're eye testing and you watch players, like he's in the top handful of players in the league. I think he's been thereabouts the last few years, but he's there right now when you're talking. I can't wait for your pyramid because I looked at, I think he's at the second bottom row. He's definitely coming up. Harley Reid had some he had some nice fends off. He made Merritt touch earth, and then Hobbs touched the earth, and then Merritt just answered, went back down the other end and kicked a goal. So that's how he answers. Did you hear his press conference after the game? Probably didn't because you had you just had music on the footy club. They asked Zach Merritt, like, "Oh, geez, it's nice to kick some goals in it." The first thing he said, he's like, "Oh, yeah, really disappointed with my first 2 shots of goal." So he missed 2 early, and that's what he focused on. And like that's where he's at. He's like, "I don't care what I have to do for the team." He's like, "I just happen to get on the end of some because of the great work from our teammates down the field." Takes no credit, and he's the first to criticise himself. He's a pleasure to listen to on the microphone, Jev.
So, Bombers fans, I just want to address the Bombers fans here for a minute, Das. So, I got a couple of messages last night saying Zach Merritt has to be top of the pyramid. And they said, I'm going to eat humble pie, the Bombers humble pie. So, 2 things can be true, Das. Zach Merritt is going to get a very generous rise in the pyramid because he is fucking him. He's having an outstanding season. But the Bombers don't win that game if Zach Merritt doesn't play. They are nowhere near good enough to be playing a prelim right now. That's not a strong take, is it? They're all up and about that they beat the Eagles by 6 points. Only because Zach Merritt played like that. Imagine Zach Merritt gets tagged one day and a heavy tag and he's a bit quiet. Like, what are they going to do? They're not that good. They're still not that good. The line was 12.5 for that game, and I thought the Bombers at 12.5 points was the best bet of the weekend nearly. Like, just like they'll pump the Eagles. They're going to win a final this year, the Bombers. They'll pump the Eagles by 40 points. That game was only 6 points. Harvey Johnson, our man, hits his knee in the goal square in the last fucking quarter. He kicks that. It's a draw all of a sudden. If it wasn't for Zach Merritt, the Bombers lose that game of football, and it's just a completely different story. So, yes, you've got a potential Brownlow medal, so top 3 in the Brownlow, but you are still not that good. That is not that harsh of a take. The Bombers supporters aren't going to crack it at me, are they, for that, Das?
No, they're not. But, Jev, it's not only the Harvey Johnson just not getting his boots to the ball. It is an absolute coach killer. Waterman was marking everything. Everything. And he was going back, cramping up, delayed concussion. He's like, I'm going to put the boys on my back. I'm going to go back and kick the goal, the big scud missile, the nightmare's nightmare. This man. And Jamie Cripps put someone on their ass and he got a reversal. Right. And he's just like, no. And then that would have tied it up with a couple minutes to go. But I did ask what was his nickname. So I messaged Harvey Jeff. I said, does the big mud missile, does he like any of these nicknames? They're like, they actually call him the Loosh. I'm like, after Fev. He's like, yeah, he was just kicking bags in the waffle. So the boys just started calling him the Loosh. So that's his nickname. So Waterman is the Loosh.
The mud flapolution, Jake
Not
Waterman.
that much hairspray in the back, but if he's missing the next week, not sure. I think Harley Reid was just cramped. Elliot Yeo looks sore.
How good were Barras and McGovern? They are so fucking good.
How big is Barras?
Oh, ever since we saw him in person at Gallagher, he is fucking huge, Tom Barras. And
He's
McGovern,
massive.
they were good. The Bombers were good. Sam Durham if they had a most improved player in the league, he would be up for that running. He is a good footballer. I'll give you some quick odds. We forgot about the odds in the Cats D's game. That's all right. Jake Waterman had that many marks that he won 2 grabbed. He was on the ground. He had another grab at, but didn't mark him. So you got some Eagles goal kickers there, Das?
Yeah, 3 for Waterman, 3 for Williams.
$2.30 for Waterman and Williams.
Jack Williams had a great game.
He was really good. 21-1 for 3 for Big Williams. He was really good.
Chester for
goal
1.
kickers.
Essendon goal kickers. We've got Langford for 3.
He was $2.60.
Merritt for 3.
Yeah, I only got him for 2 at 13-1. So 2 at 13-1. He's kicked 3. He missed his first 2 shots. That's 5. And then he gave that one off running into an open goal in the last quarter where he should have kicked his 4th. That could have been a 4-5-6 game for Zach Merritt, and we're only getting for 2 at 13-1. Where you'll be able to find him for more than 2 goals is at the tab, and you'll nearly get 151 for him to kick 5 or something. So he looks like that centre forward guy now. They set up defensively. They have their good kickers in the back line. So I like him to kick goals every week. $2.85 for 1. That's nearly 100K leg, Das.
Is this where we start to get into the discussion, Jev? So we've got Heaney, who's the Brownlow medalist favourite, as like you can say the best player in the league. Zach Merritt's now coming into the conversation of the MVP.
Yep.
He's MVP. How we said Toby Green's the Giants MVP. Yep. Definitely has been. Bond is MVP for the Dogs. Zach Merritt is now MVP. Like, you could argue he's the most valuable player in the league to their side at this point in time.
And
how he's been playing and how he's been leading.
How much can you compare his season to what he's doing right now to Toby Green's season, where it looks like Zach Merritt will get rewarded with the captaincy of the All-Australian side because of the way he's doing it, the way he's putting the Bombs on his back like Tobes did for the Giants last year. That's a great call. Couple of touches, some West Coast touches.
Yeah, so we've got Tim Kelly, 29, so for 25. He had a great game.
Yeah,
really big second half.
$48.
Liam Duggan for 25.
$2.12.
Tommy Barras for 20 would have been a bid.
Oh, he's big. $7.75 for big Tommy Barras for 20.
That could be my favourite bet of the year.
Just big footy eating Barras. And then Bombers touches.
Yeah, so Parrish 35. We had 36 touches.
7-1. Remember that was like $1.80 a couple of years ago?
Yeah, back on that.
19-1 for 40.
Nick Martin for 30.
$2.12. He's on fire.
And Merritt for 25. Actually, and Durham for 25 as well.
Our man, Sammy Durham for 25. You got $3.50 for 25 for Durham. That is nice. How many did Durham have? Because he was 10-1 for 30.
You got 25 on the donger.
Oh, fuck, righto. Let's get through this game quickly. This game was never going to be.
How long does this stream go for?
This is 57 minutes. We would have lost some people by now, surely.
It goes for an hour, doesn't it?
Myth list. Nah, I think it keeps going. We'll see. We're at 57 minutes. We'll quickly crack through. So the biggest certainties of the weekend, this game was never going to be close, ever. Freo beat the Tigers by 54 points. $1.50 for Freo was stealing money, and any Freo midfield. The Tigers didn't play a midfield. Their midfield this is the midfield they named, Marlon Pickett, Liam Baker, who we love, Thompson Dow with Tyler Sonsi going through there. They've got the worst kids in the league. You cannot have kids against Sarong, Brayshaw, Hayden Young, Fife coming off the bench, Jaeger O'Meara going through there. Big Lukey Ryan does what he wants off the half-back line. This game was never going to be close. The bookies got this completely wrong. Anything you want to say about this?
Yeah, Morgs' man, Pizza Hut, Josh Treacy. He's huge, Jev. And after the game, he was talking to Gary Lyon and he said, they're chatting to him about the game. Yeah, so what is it that you like doing? He's like, yeah, just try and keep putting them through the big six and keep clunking them. And Gary Lyon's like, That's the best thing you want to hear, big key forward. Just keep putting him through the big sticks and keep clunking him. Big Pizza Hut. You know why we call him Pizza Hut for anyone that didn't listen to the show the other night? You look at his scoreline every week of goals. It looks like 1-3-1-1-6. That's how he just gets the scoreboard. Maybe a small bag, maybe a big bag, maybe a butcher's bag. Doesn't matter. Josh Treacy, Jev, 4 goals, 10 touches. Keep clunking him, keep putting through the big sticks, big fella. And your multi, Jev, can you please tell the fans, you did put it on the story before the game. You said everyone eats against the Tigers, especially Freo's midfield. And did they what?
So I had Freo head-to-head, Caleb Sarong for 35, Tracy for 2. That was 5-1. That hit. And then we had Sarong for 35, Brayshaw for 30, Hayden Young for 30, 14.75-1, over $15 the odd boosted, and that ticked. That was always going to hit. Also had Caleb Sarong for 40, and he had 39, I think. So, he was 7.75 for 40. Geez, he should have got close. He went about 7 minutes in the last quarter where he didn't get a possession. But they were too good. That game, I just couldn't believe the $1.50. The Tigers are the worst team in the comp behind North Melbourne.
Easy money.
I think North Melbourne might beat the Tigers. Anyway, give me some odds for that game.
Yeah, Tracy for 4.
Oh, no, you had this game. Sorry, you screenshotted this game.
Yeah, I did too.
So we got Tracy for 4.
Tracy for 4 was $6. That's nice.
Nice. Hayden Young for 2.
Hayden Young is having a fucking unbelievable season. Hayden Young. Couldn't get him for 2. What was Lafau was paying $2.15, Jev.
Our man Kinner had Lafau first goal kicker at 21-1.
Oh, Hayden Young was paying $3.80 for 1.
Oh, that's nice. All right, let's get some touches. So go to Freo touches. So you had Luke Ryan for 35.
So Luke Ryan for 35 was $18.
Oh my God. Caleb Sarong for 35, 3-1, I think it was.
320, yep.
Andrew Brayshaw for 30.
That was 210.
Hayden Young for 30.
350.
Oh, Jordan Clark for 25.
Jordan Clark for 25 was $1.87, so a bit short.
Matthew Johnson for 25. I've never heard of him.
Who does he play for?
For Freo.
Yeah, for 25. I don't think he don't have a market. Yeah, he does 14-1.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That's about it. That's about all it. And now it's currently, I think it's close to halftime in
yes.
The Hawks are beating the Dogs by a point, coming up to halftime. John Newcomb, I think they've just kicked a few in a row. Yeah, Culture Deers kicked one. I want to go watch that.
Yeah, he took him. I've got it on here, Jeff. He took a mark in the goal square, went back, and the boys got around him. And you should have seen David Roden, Jeff.
Yeah,
he was showing everyone how big his hog was.
Was it a bit wider than usual?
Yeah, it was. It was wider.
So we do have a connection to Culture Deer, so fucking good on him. Happy kicked a goal. Bond kicked one. That was in the 100K. It is more likely Bond kicks a goal at Marvel Stadium than has 25 touches at the moment.
That's a fact.
He kicked the 3rd goal. So I'm looking forward to going to watch this game. I'll definitely be watching the second half. So let's go. And then we've got the Pineapple Grapple. Unfortunately, we won't be covering it. Got anything for me on that game?
Nah, Jeff. I'm just hoping the Wiz Nick Watson comes out because this is screaming Wiz territory. Like, he'll kick one.
Has he played at Marvel yet? He played all his games at the G, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah,
he looks like a Marvel player. That's where Stevie Mills
look like a Marvel specialist. Good podcast, long one. We're going to get in trouble from Lou, I think. Nah. Myth list. I'm going to go watch some more footy to see if anyone is a myth.
And we'll see everyone on Tuesday night.
We'll come out Wednesday night, hopefully, if Lou can get it up. And it's going to be a big pod because let's have Zach Merritt to kick goal at 2-1 in the multi this week. Let's have Tracy to kick 1 or 2. He can fucking kick them. Let's fucking go. See you, bros.
All right. Enjoy.
Peace.